Our service members go to war for us. They fight for our freedom, but oftentimes when they come home, the battle continues.
Many in the military are fighting to get help for the mental health issues caused by what they've seen while serving. It's a nationwide problem we are seeing right here in Hampton Roads. Investigative reporter Laura Geller has the story.
Well, guys, in the military, a Charlie Foxtrot is a disaster. Something just completely messed up. And a Charlie Foxtrot is exactly what thousands of our service members are facing right now, because the system set up to fight for them, to protect them, to heal them, is failing them. Her eyes light up at the first mention of their love story. Tell me a little bit about how you all met.
We were young. We met actually in our hometown, Fredericksburg.
Amber says Adam was fun and wild and dependable. Just 4 months in, she had no question she wanted to marry him.
You know that feeling, like when you meet somebody and you're like, this is the person that I'm supposed to be with? That's how I just knew.
Adam joined the Army when Amber got pregnant. They moved to Fort Eustis. When he came back from his deployment in 2008, something was different.
But he never really talked about work. Even when he came back, it wasn't something that he discussed with me.
He drank more, was distant, and just wasn't himself.
And one day he basically said he didn't want to be alive anymore. And I immediately took him to Langley to have him evaluated and really thought they would actually keep him. And I didn't know if I was really equipped at the time to take care of and watch somebody who may be on suicide watch. And they didn't really give me that support that I felt he needed. And they started putting antidepressants in his system.
That led to more problems. The meds caused Adam to gain weight. He couldn't pass the PT test and was essentially forced out of the military. You can see here he was honorably discharged in May of 2013, with the reason for separation listed as weight control failure. The couple tried to get help, but Adam's depression grew worse.
I remember watching him interact with our son, and I could see that it was almost like he was gone.
And then one night, Adam left a chilling voicemail on her phone.
Hey, baby boy. Daddy.
It would change their life forever.
I'll always love you, son. Don't forget that. Daddy's phone may not be working much longer.
It was May 19th, 2014. By the time Amber heard the message, her husband was gone.
Oh, I just want to let you know I love you. I will always love you. Be good for your mom, okay?
What do you hear when you listen to that?
I hear somebody who's completely lost. They don't know where to go at this point. They don't know what to do, and they feel like they're out of options.
Specialist Adam Staton had only been out a year when he took his own life. Amber is telling his story now because she's realized it's not rare. According to the VA, 20 veterans die every day from suicide. One every 72 minutes.
Well, we have to make sure we have a VA that's operating properly.
There is a lapse in mental health services, a delay in care once service members get out. They can't get into the VA fast enough. The agency's secretary says he's working to make the transition seamless. In an area with a large military population, many of our representatives in Congress are trying to hold the secretary to that.
We have to make sure, too, we understand where the gaps are. And there are gaps that exist there. And Congress, I think, needs to address those gaps and say, what are we going to do to help those families?
In the meantime, veteran service organizations are forced to fill in the gaps. Here in Hampton Roads, agencies like the UP Center provide mental health counseling to these families. Because while the military trains them how to deploy to battle, vets say they are not trained how to come home.
We really have to disassociate the stigma and help everyone in the community to understand this is what happens when you are exposed to very stressful adverse conditions, and our responsibility is to be proactive around it.
Back at Amber's house, she is begging other families not to fall victim to the stigma.
There's a lot of questions that I've battled for the last 2 years in my head, the whys, the what ifs, the should have, could haves, and it's hard because I have 2 kids that I have to explain years down the road why he's not around.
And one day, she's going to have to play this voicemail for their son.
Just promise me you'll be okay. You'll be good boy for Mommy. I will always love you, son. You're the best thing I ever had, Cindy.
And if you want to push your congressman to support improvements to the system, we've put contact information on our website. We've also given you a list of resources here in Hampton Roads if you or a loved one needs help. Laura Geller, 13 News Now.